everybody, welcome to my channel.
Barbra Streisand is one of the most iconic and versatile performers in American entertainment history. A legendary singer, actress, director, producer, and activist whose career spans over 6 decades. With her distinctive voice, uncompromising artistic vision, and bold personality, she has left an indelible mark on music, film, and popular culture. Early life and rise to fame. Born on April 24, 1942, in Brooklyn, New York, Barbra Joan Streisand grew up in a working-class Jewish family. She lost her father at a young age and was raised primarily by her mother. Despite a challenging childhood, Streisand demonstrated extraordinary talent and determination early on. After graduating from Erasmus Hall High School, she pursued acting and singing in New York City nightclubs. Her breakthrough came in the early 1960s when she began performing at venues like the Bon Soir and recorded a demo that led to a contract with Columbia Records. Her debut album, the Barbra Streisand Album, 1963, won 2 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year, and launched her into stardom. Music career. Barbra Streisand's voice, rich, expressive, and instantly recognizable, quickly made her a best-selling recording artist. She has released over 35 studio albums, many of which went platinum or multi-platinum. Hits like People, The Way We Were, Evergreen, Woman in Love, and Guilty became timeless classics. She is one of the few artists to achieve #1 albums in 6 consecutive decades. And her musical versatility spans pop, Broadway, jazz, and classical styles. Streisand has won 10 Grammy Awards, including a Lifetime Achievement Award and the Grammy Legend Award. Film and acting career. Streisand made her film debut in 1968, reprising her Broadway role as Fanny Brice in Funny Girl, for which she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. Her powerful performance, humor, and magnetic presence made her an instant film star. She followed with hits like Hello, Dolly, The Way We Were, A Star Is Born, 1976, and Yentl. Yentl was especially groundbreaking. Streisand not only starred in it but also co-wrote, directed, and produced the film, making her the first woman to win a Golden Globe for Best Director. Her later work includes The Prince of Tides, The Mirror Has Two Faces, and Meet the Fockers. Legacy and activism. Streisand is one of the few entertainers to achieve EGOT status, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, although her Tony was a special award. Her honors also include the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Kennedy Center Honors. Beyond the stage and screen, Streisand is an outspoken activist and philanthropist. She has supported causes including women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, environmental protection, and the preservation of American democracy. Through the Streisand Foundation, she has donated millions to charitable and political causes. Personal life. Known for her perfectionism and control over her work, Streisand has balanced public acclaim with a relatively private personal life. She was married to actor Elliot Gould from 1963 to 1971, and in 1998, she married actor James Brolin. A devoted animal lover and avid reader, Streisand is also a collector of art and antiques. Barbra Streisand's enduring influence lies not just in her extraordinary achievements, but in her refusal to conform to expectations. Whether breaking barriers for women in Hollywood or using her voice, both literally and figuratively, to challenge the status quo, she remains a singular force in entertainment and culture. Barbra Streisand's legacy is remarkable not only because of her immense talent but also because of her unrelenting dedication to authenticity and excellence. Her career is marked by a refusal to be pigeonholed. She shattered stereotypes, challenged industry norms, and redefined what it means to be a star. Breaking barriers in Hollywood, Streisand entered the entertainment industry at a time when conventional beauty standards and gender roles dominated. With her unique appearance and assertive personality, she was frequently told she didn't have what it took to be a star. Yet she turned those very traits into her greatest assets. She embraced her Brooklyn accent, distinctive profile, and unconventional glamour, becoming a symbol of self-acceptance and empowerment. Her work behind the camera was especially revolutionary. In an era when female directors were almost unheard of, Streisand took control of her creative destiny. Yentl, 1983, was a labor of love that took years to make. She not only directed and starred in it but also co-wrote and produced the film. It earned critical acclaim and commercial success, and paved the way for future generations of female filmmakers. Her follow-up directorial projects, The Prince of Tides, 1991, and The Mirror Has Two Faces, 1996, further solidified her reputation as a filmmaker with emotional depth and artistic vision. Both films received multiple Academy Award nominations. Voice of a generation as a recording artist, Streisand continually evolved while staying true to her core artistic values. She interpreted standards with emotional richness, collaborated with artists like Barry Gibb and Celine Dion, and released concept albums that explored themes of love, identity, and social justice. She also holds the record for the most top 10 albums by a female artist in U.S. history. Her 2014 album Partners, featuring duets with male stars like Elvis Presley, via archival vocals, Michael Bublé, and John Legend, debuted at number 1, making her the only artist with number 1 albums in 6 consecutive decades. Her live performances are legendary. Known for her stage fright, Streisand rarely tours, making each appearance a special event. Her concerts, such as the 1994 Barbra Streisand The Concert and the 2006-2007 Streisand Tour, broke box office records and demonstrated her enduring vocal power and stage presence. Cultural and political impact beyond entertainment. Barbra Streisand has been a fearless voice in American politics. A lifelong liberal, she has spoken out on issues ranging from civil rights to climate change. Her philanthropic work through the Streisand Foundation has contributed millions of dollars to causes including healthcare, voter rights, and the environment. She has often used her platform to promote truth and transparency. In recent years, Streisand has been particularly outspoken about the state of democracy and the dangers of misinformation. Using social media to advocate for progressive values and civic engagement. Honors and recognition. Barbra Streisand's list of accolades is staggering. In addition to her EGOT status, she has received 2 Academy Awards, Best Actress for Funny Girl, Best Original Song for Evergreen, from A Star Is Born, 10 Grammy Awards, including the Grammy Legend Award and Lifetime Achievement Award, 5 Emmy Awards, a special Tony Award, Star of the Decade. 1970, the American Film Institute Lifetime Achievement Award, the National Medal of Arts, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, 2015. Awarded by President Barack Obama, a lasting legacy few artists have had as profound and lasting an influence as Barbra Streisand. She is a model of artistic independence and integrity, a woman who carved her own path, elevated every medium she touched, and remained unwaveringly true to herself. Even in her later years, Streisand continues to contribute. In 2023, she released her long-awaited memoir, My Name is Barbra, which became a bestseller and offered an intimate look at her extraordinary journey. The book reaffirmed what fans and critics have known for decades: Barbra Streisand is not just a performer, she's a pioneer, a storyteller, and a force of nature. She is, and will always be, one of the greatest icons in American culture. Barbra Streisand's story is as much about personal conviction and trailblazing as it is about immense talent. Her ability to command respect across music, film, and culture has elevated her into a realm reserved for only the rarest of legends. Artistic control and perfectionism throughout her career. Streisand was known for her meticulous attention to detail, often demanding total control over her projects. While this led to occasional criticism from collaborators and the press, it also resulted in work of unusually high quality and emotional depth. Her perfectionism wasn't rooted in ego but in a relentless desire to honor the truth of a performance, whether in a song, a script, or a visual shot. This insistence on creative control was almost unheard of for women in Hollywood during the 1970s and 1980s. But Streisand didn't just demand it, she earned it. As a producer, she was hands-on with every element, from cinematography to costume design to editing. Her standards raised the bar for what women could expect and demand in the entertainment industry. Style, identity, and influence. Barbra Streisand is not only admired for her artistic achievements but also for the way she redefined femininity and stardom. At a time when actresses were expected to conform to rigid standards of beauty, Streisand's self-possession was radical. She once famously refused to have her nose altered, stating that her face was part of her identity. In doing so, she became a powerful symbol of authenticity. Her style, dramatic, romantic, intellectual, has had an enduring influence. From her 1960s beehives and mod looks to the elegant gowns she wears on stage today, Streisand's fashion sense is iconic. Designers, musicians, and actresses continue to cite her as an influence. Not just for her appearance but for the confidence and intellect behind it. Relationships and personal growth. Streisand's personal life has long fascinated the public. Yet she has managed to keep it largely on her terms. Her early marriage to actor Elliot Gould produced one child, Jason Gould, who is also a singer and actor. Though their marriage ended in divorce, Streisand remained deeply committed to her son, often including him in her creative work. Her relationship with actor James Brolin, whom she married in 1998, has been one of enduring love and support. The couple has stayed mostly out of the tabloids, and Streisand has often credited Brolin with bringing her stability and companionship later in life. Memoir and reflection. In 2023, Streisand published her long-anticipated memoir My Name is Barbra, a deeply introspective and candid work that took over a decade to complete. The book spans her life from childhood through her rise to fame, her battles with sexism and self-doubt, and her thoughts on fame, family, artistry, and politics. Critics praised the memoir for its honesty, humor, and detail. It offered fans a rare look into Streisand's inner world and provided a definitive record of one of the most influential careers in show business history. Environmentalism and legacy work. Barbra Streisand's impact extends far beyond entertainment. She has been a passionate environmental advocate, funding climate research and supporting green initiatives long before it became a mainstream cause. Through her foundation, she's donated to the Natural Resources Defense Council, the Environmental Defense Fund, and many other organizations. She has also supported educational access, civil rights, and women's health care, particularly through UCLA's Barbra Streisand Women's Heart Center, which researches heart disease in women. An enduring icon. To speak of Barbra Streisand is to speak of excellence, resilience, and transformation. She emerged at a time when women in the entertainment industry were often sidelined. And instead of accepting those limitations, she redefined the role entirely. Her legacy is measured not only in awards and record sales, but in the artists she inspired, the barriers she broke, and the courage she embodied. From Broadway to Hollywood, from protest stages to presidential ceremonies, Streisand has stood as a singular voice, intelligent, emotional, elegant, and unafraid. More than just a performer, Barbra Streisand is a cultural institution. And even now, well into her 80s, her voice, both literal and symbolic, remains as powerful and relevant as ever. Barbra Streisand's legacy is a living, breathing narrative of boldness, brilliance, and unmatched versatility. She is not just an entertainer, she's a creator, a catalyst for change, and a cultural bellwether whose influence continues to ripple across generations. A voice that defined eras. Streisand's voice is often described as one of the greatest instruments in the history of recorded music. It defies easy categorization, pure yet powerful, technically pristine yet emotionally raw. Her ability to sustain long, perfectly modulated notes with clarity and control set her apart early in her career. She has sung every style, from American standards and Broadway show tunes to disco, adult contemporary, jazz, and even classical. Her renditions of songs like Don't Rain on My Parade, Evergreen, Somewhere, Papa, Can You Hear Me? And Send in the Clowns have become definitive interpretations, often outshining the original recordings. And even in later years, her vocal range remained astonishing. Albums like Encore, Movie Partners Sing Broadway, 2016, where she duetted with actors like Hugh Jackman and Jamie Foxx, showcased a timeless voice that had lost none of its depth or expressiveness. pioneering roles for women. In addition to her groundbreaking work as a performer and director, Streisand helped change the rules of the game for women in Hollywood. She didn't just star in movies, she produced them. At a time when most female actors had little say over their scripts or final cuts. Streisand founded Barwood Films in 1972 to gain full creative control. Her determination to tell female-centered stories, intelligent, emotional, and layered, was ahead of its time. Films like Yentl and The Mirror has two faces explored themes of gender, identity, intellectual longing, and aging in ways rarely seen in mainstream Hollywood fare. Her influence is now evident in the careers of modern female directors and producers like Reese Witherspoon, Greta Gerwig, and Ava DuVernay, women who, like Streisand, insisted on taking ownership of their narratives. Impact on the Jewish American experience. Streisand's Jewish identity has always been an integral part of her public persona. In an era when many performers concealed or downplayed their ethnicity to fit into Hollywood's mold, she celebrated hers. She refused to change her name or alter her appearance. Her roles often reflected Jewish themes, and she brought depth and authenticity to characters rooted in that heritage. In Funny Girl, her portrayal of Fanny Brice, a witty, ambitious Jewish performer navigating fame and love, resonated deeply with audiences and remains one of the most iconic performances in film history. Yentl, a story about a young Jewish woman disguising herself as a man to study the Talmud, further examined the tensions between tradition, gender roles, and spiritual ambition. Cultural relevance. In the modern age. Despite the passage of time, Streisand has remained culturally relevant. Younger generations continue to discover her through streaming platforms, tributes, and social media. Artists across genres, including Beyoncé, Lady Gaga, Adele, and Ariana Grande, cite her as a major influence, whether for vocal technique, emotional depth, or creative independence. She is often referenced in pop culture, from drag shows and Broadway reviews to television series like Glee, Will and Grace, and RuPaul's Drag Race. Streisand has also embraced digital platforms, using Twitter, now X, and Instagram to share her views on art, politics, and social justice with passion and precision. Awards and honors, a testament to excellence. Barbra Streisand's wall of accolades is nearly unmatched. Oscar, 2 wins, 5 nominations, Grammy, 10 wins. 46 nominations, Emmy, 5 wins, Tony, Special Tony Award, Golden Globe, 9 wins, including Best Director, still the only woman to win it. Kennedy Center Honors, 2008 Presidential Medal of Freedom, 2015, AFI Life Achievement Award, Peabody Award, Legion of Honor, France. Yet despite the honors, Streisand has always focused more on purpose than praise. Her work has never been about simply amassing accolades, it has always been about telling stories that matter, singing songs that endure, and living with fearless authenticity. The Streisand effect. Even in the realm of internet culture, Barbra Streisand inadvertently lent her name to a phenomenon. The Streisand effect is a term used to describe the unintended consequence of trying to suppress information, only to amplify it. It was coined after Streisand attempted to remove an aerial photograph of her home from a public website, which led to the image being widely shared. The irony aside, it speaks volumes about her cultural presence. She's so well known that her influence even extends into digital and legal vocabulary. Conclusion. Barbra Streisand is more than a legend, she is a force of nature. From humble beginnings in Brooklyn to global superstardom, she has crafted a career that spans every major entertainment medium and broken barriers with every step. She defied the norms, challenged expectations, and proved that talent, vision, And integrity can triumph in a world often resistant to all three. Whether through a soaring ballad, a fiercely directed film, or a tweet championing truth, Streisand continues to shape the world, not only as a performer but as a powerful voice for justice, beauty, and boldness. Her name is Barbra, and there will never be another like her. Certainly, Barbra Streisand's story is so vast and rich that there's always more to say. Beyond her immense talent, she represents a rare combination of artistic mastery, cultural significance, and unflinching conviction. Let's go even deeper into the nuances of her legacy and persona. Streisand, the innovator Barbra Streisand, was often ahead of her time, not just in her artistic choices, but in her business and technological foresight. She was one of the first performers to embrace the concept of the concert film as a cinematic experience. Her 1967 television special Barbra Streisand, a happening in Central Park, drew an estimated 10 million viewers. Later, her Emmy-winning Barbra Streisand, The Concert, 1994, and Timeless, 2001, redefined what it meant to stage and document a musical performance, blending theatricality, intimacy, and political undercurrents with cinematic flair. She also adapted early to digital technologies and was one of the first artists to remaster and reissue her back catalog for the CD and digital streaming era, ensuring that her work remained accessible and relevant in every new format. Reluctant public figure, relentless worker. While her work is extroverted and passionate, Streisand herself has often described being deeply introverted and shy. She has battled stage fright her entire life, so much so that she stopped performing live concerts for nearly 27 years after forgetting lyrics during a Central Park performance in 1967. That vulnerability only deepened her bond with fans, who saw in her not just a flawless performer but a complex, human figure wrestling with fear, perfectionism, and pressure. When she finally returned to the stage in 1994, it wasn't for money or fame, but because she felt compelled to connect again, this time on her own terms. Her limited tours since then have been global events, breaking records for ticket prices and sales, and attracting fans from all generations. Barbra and feminism. Streisand has never been one to label.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.